Hello, Lovelace, and welcome to our next maths lesson. As you can see today, we are multiplying a 4-digit number by a 2-digit number. These numbers are just getting bigger and bigger, and you are coping so well. I've been so impressed with the work I am seeing. Just before we move into today's lesson, though, just a reminder, Battle of the Bands, the inter-class competition. So we're competing against the other Year 5 classes. You'll find it in the tournament section on your timetable Rockstars. Please do have a look and help support your classmates in their battle for victory. Okay, so I'll remind you again at the end of the lesson, but don't forget to take a look at your timetable Rockstars, Battle of the Bands. You'll find it in the tournament section. Okay, right. Well, here's our first page. I want you to have a think. Based on what we've done already, based on the other lessons that we've done, what's the same and what's different about this question? And how would you write it to solve it? Have a think. Okay. Well, actually, the only thing that's different is this value in the thousands column. Apart from that, it's just the same as the ones we've been doing. So just because the numbers are that bit bigger should not scare us. As long as we're keeping ourselves organized, and I'm going to say this again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it is really, really important that we keep our columns lined up, that we present our work neatly, because now the questions are getting bigger and bigger. It's very easy for our numbers to wander and drift into the wrong column, and it makes it much more easy to make a mistake. Okay, so really take care presenting your work. And now, as the questions get bigger and bigger, everything will just become that little bit clearer because you're in the right column. Okay, so presentation really does matter. It's not just about how it looks. It will make working out easier. Okay, so where do we start? Well, just like before, we start by partitioning the bottom number. We're going to deal with the 2 ones and then the 3 tens as 2 separate questions. We'll do 2 lots of 2,313, and we'll do 30 lots of 2,313. Okay, so we'll start with the 2 lots, and as always, we start in the ones column. 2 lots of 3 is, of course, 6. Then we move to the tens column. 2 lots of 110 is 2 tens. 2 lots of 300s is 600s. And 2 lots of 2000s is 4,000. Nice and straightforward so far. Okay, then we move to the lower section here, and we're going to be dealing with the 3 here, which of course is 3 tens. So 2,313 times 30. And to make it easy for ourselves, we're going to put in that 0 placeholder. We've made our number 10 times bigger now, which means we can think of this as a 3 instead of a 30, because we've already made it 10 times bigger. So we'll start with 3 times 3, which is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And finally, 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so that's the multiplication bit done. And now, a reminder, we are adding these 2 numbers. I've seen a couple of mistakes of the last couple of days where people have got all caught up in multiplication and then they've multiplied these numbers and made a little error with the final total. So remember, you're adding. 6 plus 0 is 6. 9 plus 2 is 11. So the 1 goes in and the 10 becomes 10 hundredths, or becomes 100. I apologize. Okay. 6 plus 3 is 9. We've got 1 here to add, so it becomes 10. 4 plus 9 is 13, plus the 1 that we've carried across becomes 14, and 6 plus the 1 that's carried across becomes 7. So 2,313 multiplied by 32 is big number time, 74,016. These are the sorts of numbers we'll be dealing with today. But don't let it worry you. You can see the steps are just the same. We just do an extra step. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay. Right. We're going to look at the same question now, but we're going to use the grid method just to show, first of all, that we get the same answer, and second of all, an alternative way of doing it. Some people really like the grid. Now, as I've said before, the problem with the grid is the bigger the question gets, the bigger the grid gets. And so you've got a lot more numbers to add up at the end. And that sometimes can trip us up. But even so, let's have a look at it. So we've partitioned both our numbers. We've got 2,310 and 3, so 2,313. And we've partitioned the 32. And now we're just going to multiply each section by each section. So we'll work our way through. 30 multiplied by 2,000. Now, I don't know my 2,000 times table, but I do know my 2 times table. So 3 times 2 is 6. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros in my question. So I need 4 zeros in my answer. So 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's fallen down because this number is so big. Next, 30 times 300. Well, I know 3 times 3 is 9, and I've got 1, 2, 3 zeros, so it becomes 9,000. 30 times 10 is 300. 30 times 3 is 90. Moving down to the lower row, 2 lots of 2,000, 4,000, 2 lots of 300, 600, 2 lots of 10 is 20, and 2 lots of 3 is 6. Now we need to add all these numbers together. Now I know some people, and I'm going to write it this way on the screen as well, will write it as a number sentence. But sometimes that's quite tricky to work out. So please don't be afraid of doing a vertical addition, if that helps. I've seen people do some wonderful multiplication this week and they then made a daft little mistake with their adding up. So do take care and add these in the best way for you, vertically or horizontally. And so the final answer, oops, skipped on a quick there. As we saw earlier, 74,016. Same question, same answer, different method. Right, what about this one? Okay, so 6,324 multiplied by 33. Have a think. What are you going to do first? Okay, well, we're going to partition the 33. So in each case, we're going to multiply our 6,324, first of all by 3, and then by the 30. So let's just ignore the 30 for a moment. Let's focus on the 3 and work that one through. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 goes in. The 10 ones become a 10, so we exchange that, carry it across. Then 3 lots of 2 is 6, plus the 1 there, 7. 3 lots of 3 is 9, and 3 lots of 6 is 18. The 8 goes in, and the 10 value moves into the next column, which in this case is 10,000s. Then 3 lots of nothing is nothing, but we've got this 1 here, so we need to use it. So we'll bring it into our answer there. Okay, so 3 lots of 6,324 is 18,972. Big numbers, guys, but I'm sure you can see what's going on. Next, we're going to concentrate on the 30. Now, remember, to do this, put in your placeholder, put in your 0, and then we can treat it as if it's just a 3 because we've made everything 10 times bigger. Same as before, 3 lots of 4 is 12, carry the 1 across. 3 lots of 2 is 6, plus the 1 becomes 7. 3 lots of 3 is 9, and 3 lots of 16 is 18. Okay, so because we've got 2 3s here, you'll notice that our answers are very similar. 18,972, 18972, 18972. The only difference is this 0 because this is a 30, not a 3, so it's 10 times bigger. Okay, but the digits are just the same, just 10 times bigger. Right, and then we finish by adding them all together. 2 and 0, 7 and 2, 9 and 7 is 16, so we carry the 1 across. 8 and 9 is 17, plus the 1 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9, plus the 1 is 10. And then we've got the 1 in the hundreds, thousands here, plus the 1 we've carried becomes 2. Altogether, 208,692. Okay. Right. Can you solve this one? Pause the video, have a go. Right. So we start with our partitioning. We're going to deal with the 52 in two parts, the 2 and then the 50. So 4,145 times 2 is 8,290. Okay. Hopefully on your workings, you've got the same answer as me. Then we do 4,145 times 50. Remember your placeholder and then multiply by 5. There we go. 207,250. And then finally, we're going to add through. Your final answer should be 215,540. Well done. You've got that. Okay. Now here's 6 questions for you to have a go at. The first one, we just want to know the final answer and what you've multiplied in each step. Same for B. What's the final answer and what have you multiplied by? C, final answer. And then what are the 2 calculations that you had to do? And then question 2, we've got the whole questions for you to have a go at. A, B, and C, have a go at the whole questions. Pause the screen, have a go at those. Right, here's your answers. So in A, you can see we've multiplied by 12, which means partitioned, we've multiplied by 2 and 10. And our final answer, 29,196. On B, partitioning the 17, excuse me, partitioning the 17, so we've multiplied by 7 and 10. Final answer, 41,361. And C, you can see it's 2,433 multiplied by 1 and 2,433 multiplied by 30. Final answer, 75,423. And then question 2, there are your 3 answers, 33,625, 95,228, 92,072. If you've made an error at all, just go back and have a look at the middle parts of the questions to see if you can spot where your mistake is. Okay. Right. Here's a completed question, but there are some mistakes. This is not correct. Pause the video, have a think. Where are the mistakes? Right. Well, here's the first one. 4 multiplied by 0 is 0, not 4 like we've got in the answer there. So there's the first mistake. We've multiplied by 2 instead of 20. So we're missing that placeholder there. Okay, so that number wasn't far enough across. We're going to put our 0 in, move everything across. And finally, this 2 here. 2 multiplied by 0 is not 2, it's 0. Okay, so there's the correct calculation now, which means our answer is wrong. Final answer should be 129,648. Well done if you spotted all 3 of those mistakes. Right, here's your final page of questions for today. Okay, we've got 6 multiplications to have a go at, and then we've got a couple of word problems. Find the product of 5,604 and 81. Hopefully we're all familiar with the word product. If you're not, just think about the type of questions we've been doing, and that is going to give you a big clue. And then 5 is all about football shirts. A shop buys football shirts for £39 and sells them for £49. The shop buys 2,700 shirts. How much does it cost? and then the shop sells all the shirts, how much profit does it make? So profit is how much money does it make? The difference between the buying price and the selling price. And then finally, a little extra bit there. Can you have worked that out in a different way? Okay. Pause your video, have a go. Right. Here are your answers. Question 3, rattle through those. Again, if you've not got the same answer, go back and have a look, see if you can spot why. So 103,753, 75,555, 85,544, 208,026, 101,871, 189,140. Now, finding the product simply means to multiply. Product is another word for multiply. So for this one, your question was 5,604 multiplied by 81. And the final answer was 453,924. So number 4 was very similar to the questions in number 3. Question 5, 2,700 shirts costing £39. So the question you need to do is 2,700 multiplied by 39. And you should have got 105,300. So that's how many pounds the shop paid for the shirts. But they sold them for £49 each. So 2,700 times 49 is 132,300. Okay? So they were sold for £132,300, bought for £105,300. So the difference, the amount of profit they make, is 132,300. Take away 105,300, leaving you with £27,000 in profit. Okay, so the shop had £27,000 that it didn't have before. Now, a possible other way of doing that is you realizing that for every shirt, they make £10 profit. Remember, £39 to £49. So £10 difference, £10 profit. And then just working out 27,700. That's how many shirts there were. The 2,700. There were 2,700 shirts, and they made £10 profit on each. So 2,700 times 10 gives you £27,000. We get the same answer. So 2 different methods, same answer. Okay, that's the end of today's lesson. Remember to check out TT Rockstars and the Battle of the Bands. Support your class. Take care of yourselves. Hope you're looking after your family. And I will see you very soon.